It's my great pleasure to welcome a young, dynamic individual, Aneesh Chopra. He is the CTO White House, the first time this job was created under President Obama's administration. Anish, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We are all very excited to have you here. I want to start off with the title CTO. What do you do, and why was this created?
Thank you. I serve as an assistant to the president. There are roughly 25 of us who convene every morning as part of his senior staff. And the purpose of it is to ensure that when the president makes the difficult decisions on any range of topics, that he has the full understanding of the technology and innovation opportunities to influence that particular topic. The role I serve is dual. I also have a position referred to as the Associate Director for Technology in the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. That is a Senate-confirmed position, and I was confirmed in May of 2009. And so what the President essentially is asked for is that on the big issues in our day, on healthcare, energy, education, building a culture of open government, laying the foundation, the building blocks of innovation, we have to make the right policy decisions. And he's asked me to serve in that capacity to ensure the decisions we make reflect all that's possible.
If you look ahead, what is the single most biggest challenge that you foresee, and how do you want to overcome that?
I would say the biggest challenge that keeps me up at night is our concerns with respect to cybersecurity. That so much of our economy and our growth has been tied to the success of the openness of the internet. But we understand that the threats from cybersecurity are real. The President delivered a speech in May of 2009 where he outlined, for the first time ever, real presidential leadership on the topic of cybersecurity. We are working towards the appointment of a cybersecurity coordinator, but my role will be to partner with that individual to ensure that we work with the private sector in a spirit of collaboration and cooperation to elevate the capacity for cybersecurity. And I'm particularly focused on research and development, game-changing ideas. But what keeps me up at night is the threat that this will be an attack on the administration and the country at large. And we've got to be best prepared for it.
You know, Silicon Valley is the bastion of technology entrepreneurship. And Indian entrepreneurs have benefited tremendously and have contributed tremendously back. So from professionals to entrepreneurs to venture capitalists and now philanthropists influencing entrepreneurship around the globe, Indians have had a major hand in this. How do you think you or the administration can liaise with the entrepreneurship skills here to take our country forward?
Well, the good news is we're committed to outreach in new and meaningful ways. It would be false to say that my one-person job will somehow connect with thousands of entrepreneurs in a way that meaningfully introduces new ideas to the administration. But to be very frank, I refer to myself as a policy entrepreneur. My colleague, Tom Khalil, who runs our policy within the Office of Science and Technology, was very thoughtful about this term. So I try to capture as many ideas as I can and then produce them within the administration or champion them for implementation. The real answer is that the President's committed to a tremendous change in how government works. We refer to this as the Open Government Initiative. On his first full day in office, he's directed the CTO, my role, to ensure that we're hardwiring government accountability for openness, participatory democracy, and collaboration. You will see in the not-too-distant future strategies that will help us connect people in a more structured way to help influence policymaking in Washington. We're seeing bits and pieces of it, but you'll see more in the coming future.
I want to extend this to India. India, as you know, is a major player in technology. It has helped so much in terms of entrepreneurship here in Silicon Valley and technology exchange. There's little apprehension, creeping up because of certain policies. But I think India is going to be a major partner going forward. How do you think U.S. could partner a lot more with India?
Wow, this is a phenomenal opportunity. In fact, the United States and India, I don't think, has ever had a better relationship. I was with Secretary Clinton earlier this week, I forget if it was Wednesday or Thursday, in preparation for the next round of dialogue with the Prime Minister. And we have a very active working group on multiple levels of science and technology cooperation to agricultural cooperation to strategic dialogue and security frameworks. The agenda is robust between India and the United States. It is obvious that this president wants to have a better relationship around the world. I'm confident that India will be an example of one of our best relationships on multiple dimensions. I'm privileged and honored to be a part of that conversation. I met with the ambassador on technology cooperation, and look forward to working closely with my counterparts in India on advancing the agenda.
You are 37.
I am.
You're a great inspiration to many young people here, and you put people like me to shame.
No.
But I want to ask you, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
Aneesh Chopra at 27,
Yeah.
what was he thinking and planning? And now that you're in a position to influence so many things around the globe, where do you think you want to be 10 years from now?
Well, I don't know where the future is, but I'll say 10 years ago, I was just starting my job as a member of the advisory board company, now a publicly traded healthcare research firm. And I was writing research studies in the healthcare sector. But it was roughly 10 years ago that I was introduced to the predecessor to TIE in Washington, D.C., the Indian CEO Council. And it was my relationship through TIE that I was able to fast-track my career. I introduced the founder and chairman of my company into TIE, a man named David Bradley. He was so impressed with the networking that he'd asked me to leave my full-time job and to work directly for him as the director of Advisory Board Ventures. That accelerated my path to partnership in the firm. We went public. I had the pleasure of benefiting in an economy that I hadn't anticipated that success that early, which allowed me to open up and be more committed to public service now. So 10 years ago, I was focused on healthcare from a perspective of driving efficiency and effectiveness. I wouldn't have envisioned the chance to serve in administration in this capacity. I'm humbled and honored that the President's asked me to do it.
And one last question is, how do you think we can inspire a lot more younger children of immigrant parents, not just Indian, but from around the globe, who come to this land of opportunity and taking this country forward?
My hope is that the President embodies that spirit every day, and that he has been an inspiration to young people all over the country, if not the world, to the extent that I can help contribute in a meaningful way by driving more innovation into the things that matter to young people, improving our educational system through technology, protecting their families through healthcare, reducing our dependence on foreign oil in terms of energy. If I'm successful in advancing the President's objectives, then I hope it would be an opportunity for folks to say, hey, anyone can contribute into this country, and if they can deliver, merit is what matters, and it's an honor and a privilege to serve, and I hope others will follow.
Aneesh, again, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure.